And now, Minion Works presents Freelance Heroism.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name's Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And we just want to say thank you to the patrons out there. Thank you 100%. I'm crossing my heart. Thank you guys for donating money to this shebang-a-bang we got going here. This thingamajig, this doohickey-mabob, this podcast. By donating money at any tier, really, but in particular the producer tier, you really help us move this podcast forward. It helps us find the things that we need, helps us stay in the black, so to speak. So thank you guys so much. Rachel, do you want to give us a list of names, our ever-growing list of patron support?
Sure. We'd like to say thank you to Monique Walker, Breakmeister, Chris Deeds, Chris Stones, Christopher Hildebrand, forgot your last name for a second, Orient_Tiger, and Rebecca, and also Ario Teabag.
You see what I mean? It's getting more complex now. It's becoming more difficult to get all of them. We're going to have, at this point, because people were added incrementally, we kind of remember the names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's going to be a point where there are going to be too many names.
Yeah.
We're not going to know what to do.
You might have to thank some people.
I think that we might need to put another tier in there. You know what I'm saying? We might need another tier it up. We're going to talk about it, guys. We got a meeting coming up. We'll talk about maybe I'm going to pitch it. I don't know. Everyone else might be very against it. So just know that I'm out here fighting for you guys. I'm out here fighting for you. I'm out here fighting for the $3 tiers. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, Rachel?
Yes.
I just want to say, before we even get started, this last couple episodes has been fantastic. You have done awesome edit work.
Thank you. I'm really happy with this episode's edit. I really like how the sound effects are put to use.
If I'd have known that we were going to add sound effects like that accurately, I would have been doing all kinds of weird things. And then a choo-choo train comes through the doorway.
Just to make it more difficult for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he stepped on the floor, but his feet were sticky with honey. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a video game from way back in the day. And this is sort of teetering on both topics of video games and deep addiction. Okay, so if any of those things bother you, fast forward. But I think this warning is important, and everyone should hear it out. Disgaea.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
I was going to say, I have been deeply addicted to video games as well.
Right, but your video games are like harvesting the onions.
No,
which onion's going to be the best?
I was heavily addicted to EverQuest 2.
That's a heavy addiction. That's one of those old school addictions, like the first heroin.
But you talk about your video game addiction.
Well, no, I mean, for MMOs too, I was really into Final Fantasy 11 as well. And those games are tough. Like, I was ordering pizzas and staying out of college. Like, I was just taking a day.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
No.
I'm gonna pay a bunch of money for this thing and then not show up to it because of a video game is not good.
Yeah, no. If I described how I lived during the height of my EverQuest 2 addiction, it would be really sad. It would be very sad.
Well, I mean, this one, I guess this addiction isn't as bad. But as far as non-MMOs go, there's a game that came out a while ago. There's multiple versions of it, but there's one in particular, this game called Disgaea. And the reason I bring it up is because there was a Switch sale that just went up the other day, right? Actually, I think it went up today. And a bunch of these games are on sale. In particular, all of the Disgaea games are on sale, right? Now, if you're a person who can do something halfway, I highly suggest picking up Disgaea. They're great. They're really funny. There's a lot of numerical systems there. They're fantastic. But for a person like me, they're very dangerous. I played, it was like 500 hours of one. I think it was like Afternoon of Darkness, I think is the subtitle of it.
Wow.
It's real bad. I put 200 in another one. I put a couple hundred in Disgaea 3. It's like, I can't do it again. I told myself a couple years ago when it came out on Vita, right? And I put it on a Vita and I took it with me everywhere. And I'm like, the mobile nature of this will make it better for me, right? Because I can just play it whenever.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not how that worked at all.
No.
It just meant that my addiction was able to follow me around. I could be addicted at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was before I was at home with no one yelling at me when I didn't get something done. Right? Like, my only boss now is me. Right? So, like, before, I could only be so out of it before somebody would make a ruckus. They're like, what the fuck is going on? This audit is wrong. And I'd be like, yeah, my bad. But now, I could justify anything. I'm creative. You know what I mean? I could really justify myself into a hole.
Yeah.
I played one of these. And I was looking, and one of the games is like $19.99. Another one's $14.99. And I'm like, oh my God.
Think about how much money you're going to lose because of
Right.
the time you will sink into it.
And right now is not a good time for me. Normally January is dead for me. This month has been a nightmare of work. I mean, nightmare. That's a bad time.
Yeah.
Could be I'm not getting any work, which would be bad. But
yeah.
There's no way I can do Disgaea right now. If I did Disgaea right now, everyone that has messaged me in the last 48 hours would be very upset because you're never getting that hard. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, gaming addiction's for real, and I learned that through Final Fantasy 11, the MMO, and Disgaea. Disgaea is brutal. Like, okay, so like, you don't just play a game and equip the best gear. That's standard. I can wreck that game, right? There's like a seating arrangement in your classroom, right? And if you put characters next to each other, then they get increased damage, bonus, capacity, and counterattack, right?
Okay.
So let's say there's 12 seats and you have 12 people. Based on where you place them, the person next to them, in front and behind them, gains like increased friendship, which boosts all those stats, right? So now you're sort of arranging kids in your class so that the people who are like micro units, like an archer and a mage and a healer is kind of your mobile unit. You kind of get them to support both teams. They need to be next to each other so they get the bonuses when they're next to each other on the battlefield. Right. Now that isn't in itself complicated. That's fairly simple on its own. But then sometimes you have to get certain students to get a certain speed tier, right? They need to be able to move so many spaces, and certain people level at different rates. So then the critical you have to balance versus movement speed bonus. Okay. Now you need to go out and work on your gear, increase your gear, right? You need that. You need to get some more damage on these guys. The problem with that is that in this game, you can actually take your items and give them to this guy who will open a portal into a thing called the item world, where you go inside your items and fight bosses, right? So you fight X bosses to unlock some potential in your weapon. Okay. Each character has a multitude of things they can have on them at a time, right? Each one of those things has bosses inside each item. Anytime you upgrade an item, you have to go inside to bolster up the power of that item. Okay. You have 12 characters, 15, 20 characters sometimes. You have a lot of characters. Each of them have multiple items. Each one of those you have to go inside and boss battle. And then when you're out, you still haven't played the game.
Oh, God. Oh,
right.
no.
There are so many stats and buffs and bonuses and add-ons. Anytime you kill a monster, you can now draft that monster to your classroom, but you only have so many students. So you actually can't just add them to your group. The school board members have to approve the student.
What?
Okay. So let's say I want to bring fucking the skeleton I found in the school, but nobody wants them. So now I have to bribe the members of the council of the school to get them to vote along with me, while also increasing the general attitude towards a student by creating an impassioned plea before them, right? So you have to select some options, and that'll let you choose.
This sounds ridiculous.
It is so stupid. It's like insanity. There's so much going on, and the whole time you're doing it, you just are like zoned in, right? I was doing something the other day. I was like adjusting stats on something.
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember what I was adjusting stats in. I was playing a game and I was adjusting stats in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just came out of it for a second, right? Like, and when I looked around, I didn't know where I was for a second.
Oh no.
Right? That's how into these things I get.
Yeah.
This guy is a real problem
Mm-hmm.
because there's too many stats.
You should not play it.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
But Nintendo keeps making it difficult because the Switch is a mobile platform
Mhm.
that I can play on the TV as well, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's like I can play this anytime, right? I have an extended battery pack case, which means that my battery life is extended times 4, right? So I
Uh-huh.
can play however long I would normally play on mobile times 4, right? It's bad, Rachel.
Yeah.
This could be real bad. And they keep discounting the price. And they keep like, maybe you wanted to go a little retro? We got Disgaea 1. And I'm like, no. They're like, what about a newer one? What about Disgaea 5? I'm like, no. They're like, are you sure? You haven't played 5? I'm like, shut up. Get away from me. Like, oh my God. And the games are genuinely funny too. So it's like, look, you know what? I take it back. Do not, under any circumstances, play that game. Because if you share a screenshot, it's just going to help. It's just going to help me fall off the wagon, off the Disgaea wagon. Rachel, it's a problem.
Yeah. No, I understand. My EverQuest 2 addiction was really bad, and I had to stop. And I want to play EverQuest 2 again. So, like, my favorite character that I ever made was my main in EverQuest 2.
Didn't they just release a EverQuest 1 expansion?
Yeah, they continuously release EverQuest 1 is really fun as well. Although I quit playing when they made the game rules easier, so you didn't have to go on death runs anymore when you died. And that made me so mad.
Elitist.
that was around the time that EverQuest 2 was coming out. So I started EverQuest 2 the day it launched. And I was immediately addicted.
Oh man. That's just like a nerd friend simulator. It's like, hey, can you meet people? Like, okay, so that's sort of okay, that's an interesting topic too, right? So like you were talking about you're upset that it became easier now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So the other day I was online and some people were bitching about the new Pokemon game. They were like complaining and whining about how fucking they're like, like there's too many things to worry about. I'm like, Pokemon is not that hard.
Mhm.
Right? I max out a dude in 2 hours. Like max level 100, IVs, EV spread, hidden ability, all that shit, right?
Mhm.
And perfect item. He's ready for battle, right?
Right.
Takes about 2 hours if I'm really moving. These people are complaining about that. Like, before, you couldn't change natures with an item.
Oh.
You just had the nature you had.
Wow.
Yeah. And hidden abilities were super, super rare. You couldn't just get it. You couldn't, like, the item that you needed to switch abilities between 2 standard abilities cost 100 battle points. 100 battle points. Right? Like, bottle caps were rare.
Uh-huh.
They were hard to find. Like, I had to literally in Sun and Moon, I had to like build this bullshit circle of lottery games in my damn mini game thing just to have a chance a day, like 8 chances a day to get a fucking bottle cap. That's how rare it was. When I got one, it made my week. And now I can get some guy to dig for 15 minutes, spend fucking easy money, and get like 9.
Oh.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad about it.
Uh-huh.
Like, people get mad about, like, it's easier now. I'm like, look, I get that the things that I did before feel invalid now because of the new system. But I was pissed about it before, and they've solved it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, the challenge in Pokemon is playing other players. It's got nothing to do with the 90 hours it used to take you to get fucking Zapdos playable. You know?
Well, I don't know. I was mad because I liked, it's not that I liked the death runs, but I felt that they were like
a punishment.
Like, yeah, it was like a punishment for dying, and it created this risk of you losing your gear and literally everything that you had on your character.
In Final Fantasy 11, you lost XP when you died.
Yeah, you lost XP when you died in EverQuest 1 as well. You could like go down in levels.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
That needs to be a system.
So
I want to eject someone from a battleground because they don't qualify anymore. That's so good.
But I felt like it took away from what the game was when they reversed death runs and made it so you didn't have to do that anymore.
I think the Pokemon people are unfounded because there's so much grind at the end of that game. You know what I mean? Like, in order to get a fucking I'm trying to think of a person that I actually had to work on. Like, okay, so I needed a Ditto, right? I needed a Ditto with a lot of IVs for my breed setup. I had the Destiny Knot, and I had the Everstone, and I had the whatever. I had everything I needed to breed, right? But I needed a Ditto, so I sat at one spot where I know that the normal Pokemon encounter rate was highest, and I just reran fucking what do they call it? Dungeon raids over and over and over and over again until I got my 5e Ditto. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I saw someone the other day online selling a 6IV Ditto, fucking, what are they called? A Masuda Method shiny 6IV 4N Ditto, right?
Wow.
Right. It's fucking awesome, right? Except it's obviously hacked because they're selling them like they're oranges, right? It's like $1.99. And I'm like, now I'm not mad because of the effort that's not in it, right? I'm mad that it actively disjoints the game for other people, right? So like, if I want to go play in an event, they're going to check my serial numbers on my Pokemon.
Yeah.
And if they're bred by a faked Pokemon, then it's fake, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I can't, anything that someone trades me, I have to be skeptical about. I have to be ready to replace them. If I didn't catch them myself, I can't be certain that it's not somewhere in its lineage faked, right? That is what happened in Sun and Moon. It was like there are a lot of people who went to tournaments and then their Pokemon were just like unusable because they were, somewhere 9 generations ago during the breed cycle, somebody fucked against a copied Ferrothorn, and it was just like, no, god damn it, for Leech Seed, you fucked them for Leech Seed. Okay. Anyway, we should probably get back into this game.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to talk about a Bloomin' Onion, and I just want to keep everyone apprised. Okay.
Okay.
I've been looking up some Bloomin' Onion like preparation methods. People have been cutting these onions, right? Okay, so there's like, you know what a Bloomin' Onion looks like?
Yes.
Yeah, they take an onion, they cut it kind of halfway down and then across the other way so it kind of hangs open, then they dip that shit in batter and they dump it in a fryer until it's delicious.
Yes.
Which is pretty much a good system for anything. You can literally do anything that way. You can put a hot dog in some fucking batter and fry that bitch, and I bet it'd be amazing.
Isn't that a corn dog?
Did I just invent the corn dog on this fucking podcast? Solid. Thanks, Rachel. You know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's go back to the thing. We'll talk about it next week. Stay tuned for updates on the Bloomin' Onion chaos. Rachel, hit that button and make the edit thing happen.
Okay.
There is a realm where fantasy becomes reality and tale becomes truth. A place comprised not only of dice, but of sound, where your mind wields the only passport into the twisting nether. The convergence of visualization and imagination. I submit to you your ticket to the 1,000-year clock.
So when you walk out into the other area,
Uh-huh.
you realize that you are in the main hallway that had come right out the front door.
Okay.
You see the burnt torch completely burnt away. It had gone out and has been sitting, and the wood that was comprising it has now been eaten away substantially. It is laying almost fossilized in front of the space between you, the two doors on the map.
I pull a mirror out and begin to check my hair to make sure I don't have any grays.
No, you're fine.
All right, cool.
But this does happen. You hear a bunch of bells chime.
Oh, fuck.
They sound smaller than the other bells, but they kind of ring back to back to back. It says, "A man's lament, his troubled past, found a page, yet lost his grasp." And from the hallway behind you, you see the jittering shape of the entity walk and stand in the center of what looks to be a circular interior hall. There is a series of what look to be vents cut into the center of the wall, spaced evenly. It looks to be 11 of them cut into the wall. You can see them if you look, those little lines on the map.
Okay.
Anyone want to roll an intelligence check for me? I'm not going to roll Franklin. He knows what it is, but he won't tell you.
I got a 6.
That's not going to do it.
19.
David, this sure does look a lot like a clock.
Okay.
It looks like the main hallway would be what midnight is if you flipped this upside down. And each of the tick marks out from it would be another point in time, like the face of a clock.
Motherfucker. I thought it looked like a key lock. Or a combination lock. All right.
Each one of those vents looks like it passes straight through the stone, but you wouldn't know where they were from the outside. You didn't see any of the holes. Also inside, it looks like a raised space around the sides of the walls that kind of slopes down into a lowered, almost like the impression that a large ball would make. The floor looks like it goes down deeper than the flat surface you were walking on for the rest of the location.
Okay.
And in the very bottom, there is a man who is holding a jar, and inside that jar is a scarab that is flittering around aggressively, trying to get out of the jar. The man is dressed in red and black, with what appears to be a skull on his left arm, or his right arm, as like a pauldron.
Hey, Callie?
Yeah.
The goblin boys are here to kill the master.
All right.
I've been thinking about telling you the secret about the master.
Okay.
But you pissed me off earlier, so I'm not.
Oh, all right.
This is the clock room. Kind of like a clock if you count and I start counting off the spacers as I'm keeping my eyes on the guy with the skull and the scarab. Oh, by the way, I'll be nice. Don't touch him.
That's my deal, is I punch things. You know this.
Oh, I know this, but My boy Piggy here says don't touch him.
Piggy.
And oh,
That's my
Pigman
boy
knows.
Piggy over there.
Lord of
Yeah.
the Flies.
And Piggy, dude, Piggy's serious when he says don't touch things. Like one door.
Like I don't
Don't touch Master.
touch him, or he shouldn't touch me.
Either, I would guess. I mean, if you touching him hurts, God knows how he's going to touch you.
So the man turns around and he says, "Black heart, black hand, his death was stolen. Speak the words, Zoram Zolan." With that, he takes the jar and releases the insect.
Big bad Beetleborgs.
Roll me a perception.
I got nat 20, 24.
Oot.
22.
Well, it's hard to see this insect, but you guys have got your eyes sort of trained on it at this point. The insect, once it escapes out of this jar, flies straight up. And if you look up to where it's going, there's a large rectangular shape on the ceiling. And from that is suspended by a really gnarly looking chain, a shard of rock, a stone. And that stone is glowing very, very brightly. The insect is drawn crazy by it, and it flies directly at it and lands on the surface of the crystal. "Why have you come, Franklin? And with your brother?" And Franklin says nothing. He's completely silent.
I reach for my bag and I slip Pigshank a dagger.
He's going to use that and the leg bone.
I got a spear too if you want that instead.
He
Always
can
been more
use
ranged guy myself.
any weapon pretty well.
I hand him the spear instead.
I'm gonna draw
What
my sword.
are you doing here?
Come on, Frankie, he's talking to you.
He's just very nervous. He's gonna, Rachel, he's gonna look at you and say, this wasn't the one we were supposed to save.
It's the only one here.
He's going to wave his hand. As he does, you can see that the skull that's on his right shoulder is attached to a hand that looks like it is necrotic. It's black all the way up to about the wrist and then slowly turns to green. It looks like it's eating away at the flesh on his arm.
Oh, hell no.
That's so cool.
I've seen Grandma do that trick. This doesn't end well.
He's going to, well, you guys are all going to roll initiatives. He's not going to. You all need to roll initiatives. And you need
Woo! 5.
7.
Okay.
Mage armor. Mage armor, mage armor, mage armor.
So I'm going to go ahead and let reverse order of initiative act.
What?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you guys, I got a 5 and a 7, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So whoever got a 5 goes first.
I mean, Mind Linker, we're in agreement to kill this fucker, right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. A free action mage armor.
Mhm.
And I dissonant whispers his ass.
Okay. Do I have to roll a wisdom save, I assume?
Yeah, 15.
He's going to fail his check intentionally,
Awkward.
and he's going to pocket that. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Oh no.
9.
And the effect is to make them flee.
Yes.
Okay. Next person's turn. It seems that it has hit him. It seems that the spell went off as it was supposed to.
Mhm.
He looks like he didn't even attempt to shake it off, but he is standing still.
Okay. I'm
I
going.
don't like this.
I don't like this either.
I just talked some mad shit and he didn't move.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get murdered and see Grandma sooner than either of us would like to. I'm
Hey,
gonna
cool.
approach
You're
and
coming.
attack him with my sword.
Okay. Go ahead and hit.
I rolled a 5. That would be an 11.
11 doesn't hit.
Okay. I'm gonna punch him. See what happens.
Okay. All right.
Just one punch. I'm not using the key point. I just want to see what happens. Of course, I would roll well. 20 to hit.
Okay, there you go.
All
That's a
right.
hit.
Excellent. I'm so glad. That's going to be 7 bludgeoning damage as I punch him.
Any additional effects to that?
No, because I did not use my flurry of blows. So
Okay.
I don't get to do my way of the open hand.
All right, Pigshank is going to attack. That's a crit, not 20.
Woo, go Piggy!
Did I nothing felt weird when I punched him?
Oh, no, you hit him and it felt like you hit him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All
Everything
right.
was completely normal feeling.
Excellent. It's going to come back and bite me later.
Franklin is not going to act. He's going to wait.
Oh yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Derek is shitting himself. He's not going to be very useful in this. At the end of the turn, where it would normally be first in initiative, because things worked in reverse for whatever reason, he used an ability that he uses called Rewind.
Oh,
He
no.
flips time. All of the effects that you had done to him get put onto the stack, like in Magic, and then he reverses them and targets where he wants them to go. He is going to hit Pigshank with it for 21 damage, and he is going to flee. The only open corridor that he can get to is the hallway.
Oh, God.
He is going to run at his increased speed,
Shut the door.
past the doors. No, not shut the door. He's passing the doors, down the main hallway, and as soon as he hits a certain point, his body fucking just is gone. Totally gone. You people. You have such narrow minds. Do you know what I've done? Do you know what makes you, you? And he's going to roll to hit.
Well, sharing spice and anything nice.
Oh,
Rachel, he's going to hit you.
no. Okay.
And he is going to hit you for 4 points of drain damage to your highest stat. If you have 2 that are maxed to your highest, you can drain them off whichever you prefer.
Okay. I'm going to take 4 off my wisdom.
Rachel, in his good hand, he hits you, grabs you with the dead necrotic hand.
Uh-huh.
You feel your body become weak for a second. You recover relatively quickly, but in his other hand, a page appears, a sheet. And then he steps away from you and walks back into his alcove. And he looks at it, and this is how you lose the points. He crosses off something and makes a change on your sheet.
Okay.
See,
Well played.
the things that make us who we are the gods. Do you know the names of your gods?
Yeah. And he's older than yours.
Yours, calligraphy, funny, is Rachel Moore. And yours, my friend, and he's going to reach out with his hand. I'll find out soon enough.
Oh, you ain't touching me. Oh, hell no.
Okay, roll initiatives, guys. Again, if you
Okay.
want, or you can keep the same initiative if you like, but you might want to get middle of the road.
16.
24.
He can't do that a million times, so don't worry.
Oh, I gotta change my armor because it's lower now.
You can hear in the background a squeaky noise, and it slowly begins to increase the sound,
Fuck.
becoming piercing. If you want to roll a perception check, I can. It's a pretty simple check, but
10.
David still doesn't get it.
14.
No bonuses at all, Rachel?
Well,
Oh,
I
you
took a
got
minus
drained.
4 to my wisdom, and that's perception.
Okay, well, never mind then. Okay, guys. He's going to act first. He is going to cast a beam at Diwa.
With mage armor, I'm up to 17 AC.
Yeah, roll a dex save.
Oh, fuck that. Woo! No. 11.
You take 8 damage.
It's been worse.
David, you got hit.
I took 8 points.
Yeah, he didn't get drained. He got hit.
Right, but you have a reaction that you can do because you're a
Um,
tiefling. Remember?
yeah, no,
Because we're
it's
tieflings.
isn't it melee?
Because
Or
he's
is
not
it?
in range. Melee.
No, it's like someone you can see within 60 feet of you.
Fuck yeah,
Oh,
do
then
that.
shit, yeah.
See, this is
No, I thought it was a melee. I thought it was only on melee strikes.
no, it's fine. You don't remember that you have dark vision. You don't remember your tiefling abilities.
Ouch.
You were getting on him about not knowing his anatomy.
If you want to use it, just,
No.
I'm just reminding you.
Yeah, let's hit him with a Hellish Rebuke. The DC is 15, because I am a caster.
That's a dex save.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, my save for it is garbage.
He fails.
Ooh.
Must be all
And
those
so that's
rogues.
2d10.
Ooh.
That is 15.
Nice.
And there goes my once a day Hellish Rebuke.
I think now it's time to use it.
Oh, yeah.
Okie doke.
I won't get a second chance to use it unless I gain another year back.
Rachel, what was your you were 24, right?
24.
All right, so go ahead. You get to act.
All right. I'm gonna attack him with my sword.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move, because he moved away from me, right?
Yeah, he walked back to his center.
Okay. So I'm gonna approach him.
Okay.
Wouldn't that I activated an attack of opportunity when he would have walked away?
You can roll it if you want.
If he I don't know. I assume he like disengaged.
He didn't disengage. He just walked away confidently.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will attack of opportunity him.
Okay.
Does a 22 hit?
It does.
Okay. I hit him for 9 piercing damage. That was my attack of opportunity. So for my regular attack, I go over, approach him. I'm gonna attack him with my sword. I don't think a 13 hits him.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I made an attack action, so I'm going to do my bonus action, unarmed strike. I'm going to spend a key point to do flurry of blows, so I make 2 unarmed strike attacks. The first one is a 23 to hit.
That's a hit.
The second one is a nat 1.
Roll a
Ooh.
d6.
Oh no. I got a 2.
Okay.
Okay, great. So the unarmed strike that did hit does 6 bludgeoning damage. And I want to do my Way of the Open Hand since I did hit him with Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
He cannot take a reaction until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
I don't know if he has any reactions, but if so, he...
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, girl! Oh, girl! She punched me and hit me with a sword." That's his reaction.
Okay. Well, he can't do that.
Oh, you just try and stop him.
I did. That's how hard I punched him.
Didn't you nat 1 as well?
I did for the second punch.
Okay. I'm just pointing out your failures.
That's
I
not,
think that
that's
we
not
should
the
do
one
that.
I'm talking about. So
I think we should point out your failures.
I
though.
don't
just
think we
wanna
should.
elucidate. All right, D-Walk, it's your turn.
Ah, fuck it. Eldritch Blast.
I like Elric Blast. It's where you throw an anime character at someone.
Yes. So I take aim. 17.
Do I get a save?
No, it's a straight just shot.
You guys are racking
So-
up damage.
Well, it's 17 to his AC.
Oh,
I don't know what
okay.
his AC is.
Yeah, you hit.
All right. 12 damage.
Still racking up damage, but just not
Yeah.
as cool as the last one.
No. But bless that D12 for working.
All right, he is going to attack now. He's going to do a touch attack
Oh no.
on Frank.
How close is he?
What do you mean?
I want to try to keep as much distance between me and that touch attack as I can.
He can move very quickly. Like when you see him reach out for someone, it's almost like he has like a black kind of tracer behind him. As he like puts one hand out and reaches out really far, he can like kind of dash at you to grab.
Do I get
Um,
another attack of opportunity?
If he passes by you, Frank was standing near you, right?
When we first went in, but then I went to...
Well, he disengaged from you, right?
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He moved away from you.
Yeah.
He did not disengage actions. So yeah,
And then-
you'd get a attack of opportunity.
Okay, awesome. 11.
No, sorry. I think we should all point out Rachel's failure a second time.
Is that the title of this episode?
No, this is called Shameless Self-Promotion.
Oh, okay.
This game is called Buy a Book when I release it eventually at some point. Okay, so he hits Frank, and then he's going to drain him like he did you. And he's going to get 4 points off of his stat, which is intellect. His head shrinks a little bit. It's a little soft on one side. His head's just kind of flopping around on top like a half-deflated beach ball.
Oh, no. A balloon
and
a few days after a party.
He gets a piece of paper in his hand, and then he turns and kind of walks around the perimeter of the walkway so he doesn't walk past Rachel again. And in that sheet, he's going to take it, and he's going to incinerate it in his hand. And Franklin incinerates where he's standing. You ever seen, like, ash blow away in the wind? Like at the end of Spider-Man. You remember Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, dude. Avengers, the whole thing.
Or
Dude,
Avengers,
just,
yeah.
No, Mr. Stark. No.
Frank looks at Rachel and goes, I don't want to go. I have so many books to read.
Oh, no.
Well, shit, man. I'm really gonna miss Pig Boy.
They are NPC. The NPC will live. And then his turn is over. You want to roll initiatives again, or do you want to keep your initiatives?
I would like to keep my 24.
Okay.
Unless he's going to do the reverse thing again. Which I
You
would
don't
like
know.
for you to tell me if he's going to do it.
You're right. I should tell you. I should tell you when I'm about to do something devastating.
I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
I'll
D-Walker,
keep
you're going
it.
to keep yours?
Yeah, I'll keep the 15.
16.
One of those two.
Derek is losing his shit right now. You guys roll perception again. Do good.
17?
19.
Hey! That you can hear that whistling noise getting louder and louder, and the light from the crystal that's hanging above you is starting to flicker in and out. You can tell that the insect is burrowing into this crystal. Once it roll an intelligence check.
I'm
You guys
tempted
have
to
worked
shoot
in
the
labs
crystal.
before.
19.
Yeah.
19's good. Do you
All
want?
right. 14.
Rachel, you can tell that when high energy materials like this become disrupted from their cohesion, right? Like if they get shattered, fractured, that energy doesn't just go away. It has
Right.
to go somewhere.
Yes.
So maybe you should think about that while
Maybe
this is happening.
we should stop that bug.
D-Walk, it's the same sound that the door was making.
Ooh.
Remember when you damaged the door and it made that
Yeah.
high-pitched kind of whistling noise as the door started to cave?
Well, I'm scarred by that sound.
Yeah, so that sounds pretty familiar to you. Both of you should roll wisdom checks 3 times and tell me what they are. Rachel, you go ahead and tell me yours first.
Okay. This is a wisdom check.
Yeah, wisdom check.
Okay. I got a 17, a 22, and a 16.
Hell yeah. Rachel's over here telling stories. All right. You'll see what I mean in a second. D-Walk?
16, 11, 16.
D-Walk's story is less detailed. Okay. Rachel,
Yes.
your mind tells you like that you've been here before. Something is happening in this particular moment that you've done before. In the vision that you have, you can see a very close-up image of a insect burrowing into the side of what looks to be a very bright stone,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden it fractures and everything gets destroyed like in a massive explosion.
Okay.
D-Walk, you have the same visual, but you are seeing it from where you are standing, almost in the exact same location, and you see your sister, who was trying to get at the stone, get eviscerated, like turned to fucking detritus before your eyes, right? And then the wave of energy slowly pushes towards you. You're unable to escape, and it overtakes you. And the same happens to you. That's the vision you guys get for a moment.
Okay. We need
Okay.
to
And this
stop
crystal's
that
up in the air,
bug.
right? The crystal's up in the air, right?
Yeah, it's hanging from a chain. It's about 8 feet off the ground, so it's high enough up to where you'd have to manage to get to it.
Oh, I got this.
But it's not like out of reach.
Okay.
Okie doke. Rachel.
Okay. I'm gonna call to Thresh, my brother. Be like, can
Yes.
you do something about the bug?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
You handle a little black hand down there.
I'm trying. I'm going to approach him
Can I dissonant whispers a bug?
and attack with my sword.
Just trying to whisper to, hey, Bug, don't do that. Don't do that, Bug. Hey,
Uh,
Bug, let me tell you a story about what happens when you try to eat that. It's going to hurt.
16
It's
to
going to
hit.
hurt, Bug. 16 hits.
Okay. So that is 8 piercing damage. And then I would like to use my bonus action to make an unarmed strike. And I'm going to use a second key point to do another flurry of blows. So first attack is a 21 to hit.
Rachel, is your key points based on your wisdom?
No, it's based on my monk level. So
Oh,
at
okay.
level 3, I have 3 key points.
Okay.
So this is the second one that I'm using. So the first to hit was a 21. And the second to hit is a 16.
Okay, both of those hit.
Okay. So that's 2 punches for a total of 10 bludgeoning damage.
10 total?
Yes. I rolled 2 ones.
Girl, you lame.
Because my flurry of blows landed, I'm going to have him make a dex save. It's a DC 12. If he fails, he is knocked prone.
It's knocked prone.
I
Roll a
punch him
1.
so hard he falls on his butt.
I need to roll a d6.
Uh-oh.
Okie doke.
What
Okay,
happens if you
he
roll
falls
one on a
prone.
D6?
David, I don't know. We should have to see what happens.
Too bad I'm not going to roll one to find out.
Okay, since those turns are over, he gets to attack now, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, he goes
Oh,
before me, right?
Oh, no. You
Oh.
go next. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was captivated by Rachel's failure.
No
on her
worries.
damage rolls. Her damages of 1. She rolled so poorly, it made me roll a 1. You see how bad she is?
Yeah. If I hit the bug with dissonant whispers, would it flee the hole?
That is a fucking solid idea, David. Why don't you go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me, see if this bug is mindful enough to be effective.
Spell doesn't say anything about intelligence.
It has to roll a wisdom save, right?
I believe so.
Which implies that it is mentally affecting someone, correct?
Yes.
So then you have to put something into its mind that would terrify a bug. I'm assuming it manufactures that, but
All right, so intelligence check.
I want
That is a 16 on intelligence.
D-Walk, you are intelligent enough to know that the parts of brains and insects that are in people that make fear do not exist in the lower insect
Ah,
brains.
all right.
So if you're trying to do something that, keep in mind, like you swatted at a moth that's trying to get to a light.
Yeah.
Your observation, you're like in this game, you would have seen moths around torches and lanterns. You swat at them, they evade your swat, but they never leave. They're not cognizant of the fear of them dying. They need that light. That's
Okay.
the goal. So you might have to
Then-
find another way.
Misty step up there as a bonus action. Hold on to the chain as I land.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
with my-
solid.
With my knife, in on the bug.
Carefully? Or are you
Carefully.
attacking the
No,
crystal
no.
leaf?
Carefully, I am. About how far deep is the bug in the chain in the hole?
It's just now burrowing through the side of it, and you can feel that it's the structure.
Oh, so I
of
can
it.
actually grab the bug with my
You
hand.
can grab the bug, yeah.
I'm gonna regret this. I grabbed the bug with my hand.
Okay. D-Walk, describe what type of gloveware you are using. Are you using
This-
gloves? Do you have bare hands?
Since we're in our desert gear,
You would probably have gloves.
yes,
Okay.
enough to deal with the sandstorm.
I wore my snow mittens today. Damn it.
Gear. I do have my scholar's pack, but mainly just the desert gear we have.
Well, we'll say you're wearing gloves, made probably of some sort of
Goat hide or something.
yeah, something that would stop the temperature fluctuations from affecting. Okay, so then you have grabbed the bug. Go ahead and roll me, let's say, a sleight of hand check.
Oh, dexterity's my favorite. 10.
You got it. You can
Oh,
hold the
sweet.
bug. It is trying to escape out of your hand. It wants to get back to the lake.
Bad
But-
bug.
You can hear the whistle noise. Doesn't get any
Quieter.
it doesn't get any quieter. It doesn't get any louder though, which is good.
Okay.
It's sort of stabilized.
You said I'm about 8 feet in the air?
The chain is 8 feet in the air, plus however much higher up on the chain you went when you misty
Okay.
stepped.
And I haven't moved. I haven't done any movement yet.
I would say that misty stepping up there and then taking an action to fumble around for a bug might be, if you have like you use the bonus
Because
action for that,
Yeah, the Misty Step is a bonus action.
and then the check to grab the bug.
Would be my action.
You can maybe take a free action, but I don't think I would give you a full action, especially not
No,
hanging
no.
from it. You could probably
No, no.
release the chain and fall.
That's what I was going to do, is release the chain and fall and
Yeah,
open my
that's
hand
a-
right before I smash the bug on the ground.
As a logical person, I think gravity actions should function outside of all of the predetermined roles. Okay, so yeah.
Alright. So I'll do that. And right before I hit the ground, I open my hand to smash the bug.
Oh, you're going to try to smash the bug? That'll take another turn.
Alright, then I'll wait the next turn.
Okay, so at the end of your guys' actions, Rachel's 22 wisdom goes off. You can see in your mind that the black-handed wizard changes his tactic and goes after your brother, full force, trying to release the insect.
Oh, you dirty motherfucker.
You know, hold on, let me just do this so I can
Yeah.
be fair about it.
Oh, that's fine.
You know that he does hit on his
Okay.
turn. You see him stand to his feet, run to your brother, grab him, and then in his other hand appears his sheet, and it bursts into fire.
Oh god. Do I
Yay, I die in a turn!
do I have time to say anything?
Yes, but not until you're.
Oh, okay.
It won't be this turn.
Okay.
Let's say. Yeah. Okay. We'll say. You see that action happening in the near future. You're not certain it's going to happen this turn.
Okay.
D-Walk, you feel this kind of flash of agonizing pain, and you feel like you failed to contain some. It's just a feeling. You don't have a visual with it because your roll was a little lower. You feel like you failed at something.
Like more than normal failed or something? Like,
Yeah, not like standard depression, like, oh, that was a flub.
okay. Not like every day my sister tries to make me feel like I failed at life.
No,
I'm just
not like
saying,
not like
you
a
need
Sugar
to
Ray
get up
song.
you need to
Okay.
get up at 6 a.m. with me and go for a run.
I feel a year younger. I feel a year fresher. I don't have to go run.
That's like even more incentive to go for a run.
No! You should come with me to the dark side.
No.
I got friends on the other side.
Okay, that's just all our family, and they're all weird.
I wasn't talking about that friend. Ooh, I'm not friends with the family. I'm talking about the great and powerful ancient one called Nihal of the Dark Universe.
Okay, you're just like passively being given things. That's like so boring and so lazy, and you're never gonna better yourself if that's how you do things in your life.
But I'm the pretty one. I'm already better.
I'm so pretty. I'm so pretty. Okay, guys,
Yes.
All right.
on the in-between stages between his turn and your turn on a manufactured initiative,
Uh-huh.
Derek is going to run for the door.
Derek. Close the door behind you, Derek.
No, not the doorway. I mean the hallway.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, the one that
Oh no,
Piggy
Derek.
got killed in?
That was our
I feel
last,
this pain.
that was our last intern.
The gold is ours! It's all ours!
We haven't seen any gold.
Joe, I'm cutting his hand off. That shit has to be worth something.
Okay, as
museum's
soon as
gonna
you
love
as
his
soon as
hand.
you touch it, it's gonna hurt you.
Oh, I know, dude. Like everything else in life. Don't touch the crystal. Don't touch your grandmother's purse.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean that seems pretty obvious.
Derek has made a run for it.
Oh no, Derek.
Derek has reached the spot between the doors, and on his turn will make it through the first wave wall. Once he hits a certain point, he is gone. You can't see him anymore.
R.I.P. Derek.
He thinks, I'd rather deal with the sharks. Okay, so now it's Zoe's turn. He is going to try and stand, but unfortunately, it's going to take most of his turn to stand up and try to maintain possession of this particular trait that he is trying to channel.
Okay.
He can take his action to notice you up there, Dewok. Or you fell, right? You should be in the center of the floor. He sees that you have the insect, and he is going to focus his attention on you starting on the next turn. Rachel,
Yes.
it is now your initiative.
Okay. I'm gonna yell to my brother. He's coming after you next. I saw it. It was like the bats.
I knew you cheated,
I didn't cheat.
I'm so fucking proud of you and so fucking pissed.
I'm trying to help you right now, all right?
Okay, let's
So-
focus on that. So I die.
Do something to not die. I'm giving you a warning.
I look at the sandway.
Gee, thanks,
Others ran through.
Rachel, it's your initiative first, right?
Yeah.
And your last roll was a 16
For what?
for your wisdom.
I was a 16. She was a 20-something.
No, on the last. No, that's for
Oh,
your initiatives. For
yeah.
the 16s on both of your guys'.
Yeah,
so
I
you
got-
guys,
We both ended with 16.
you guys will both get the same vision then. All right, it's a
Okay.
very
Okay.
important one, maybe the most important one of this game. If that crystal explodes, the time magic that holds the center spot here, that slows everything down and allows people to make more prep time, and you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That explosion will take thousands of years to reach the first wall where it will speed up, and then another 1,000 to reach the next wall, and then so forth and so on. Multiplies, right? So outside, everything will look completely normal until all of a sudden everything explodes. But inside, you will be trapped in a ball of fire or
3,000
energy for, well, thousands, then magnified by 1,000, and then magnified by 1,000. So exponentially, three times. So it would be bad
Mhm.
for that to go off, because you wouldn't die immediately. You would just slowly be ripped apart in agonizing pain for thousands of years. So yeah, that's the vision you get.
Okay.
That is a potential fail.
Okay. I'm gonna hit him again. First with my sword. He is no longer prone.
Oh no, he's standing now.
Okay. So regular attack. 23 to hit.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a 7 piercing damage. And I'm gonna use my last key point to do my last flurry of blows. So 23 for the first attack and a 24 for the second attack.
Those are both hits.
So he takes a total of 10 bludgeoning damage again.
Oh my god,
I
Rachel.
rolled double ones.
Fail. That's what we
Uh,
like to call that. We call that the
and-
Rachel.
Since I hit with my flurry of blows, what is his speed like?
What do you
Am I-
mean?
Like, so I have an ability where I can make him do a strength save, and if he fails, I push him up to 15 feet away from me. If I were to push him that far, would
No, he closed that.
okay.
He can move like double movement speed in the turn.
Well, I'm not thinking to get back to me, but to get to my brother. and
Yeah,
just-
he would be able to get to him. He's in the center of the room, so he's
Okay.
like center mass amongst everyone that's here.
Okay, then I will have him do another dex save, or he'll be knocked prone.
Okay.
So dex save DC 12. Hey,
Yep,
he's
so-
prone. I punch him in the kneecap, and he falls over.
Oh, my kneecap! No. He lays there and goes like a Family Guy joke. And because you guys are in the center of this time thing, it's
Mhm.
just like the Family Guy joke because it'll take 1,000 years for it to be over. Okay.
All right, that's it for my key points. I'm staying where I'm at. I've warned Thresh. Do something to save yourself.
D-Walk, it is your turn.
I've already used Misty Step.
Guys, you're killing me. Think, oh, never mind. Go ahead. Think temporally, guys.
I'm gonna cast Mending as a cantrip on the crystal and heal it.
Okay. Well, we'll say that it affects the crystal. Repairs a small amount of the fractured damage.
Alright. Temporally.
Think
moves
outside of the
faster.
rings, guys. This is totally a Kavir puzzle.
Yeah. If I go back through the door,
What if you just
time slows down.
what if you
What?
just chuck the bug down the hallway?
I'll run to the door or run to the spot where the temporal thing goes and shove the bug through it.
How do you shove the bug through it, David?
I throw it.
You throw it.
I
It
have
is
to.
hefty. It is a scarab.
Actually, no, I put it in a bag first. One of my bags on my hip.
right
Wrap
on.
in the bag first and like a. Never mind, I'm not gonna admit to that at all on the radio. Yeah, I put it in the leather pouch on my hip and take the bag and chuck it.
Okay. Is there anything in the
Rudy.
pouch other than the bug?
Probably inks.
Okay.
So I have a researcher's pack, so I probably had inks or pencils or letters, something in there.
How far can you throw it, David?
11 strength. I would run as far as I can up there, or
Okay.
towards it without crossing the threshold, no pun intended, and chuck it through.
Okay. Let me do a check real quick.
Because everyone else you say could actually reach it by running towards it.
Oh no, you'd totally be able to reach the line. You could even pass through the line if you wanted to.
No,
It's just a matter of how far you can throw.
I'm pretty sure I can throw more than a foot if I get to the line.
An improvised thrown weapon has a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet. So in general, the answer is 20 feet or 60 feet with disadvantage. You said there was nothing else in the bag, or what? There was something.
Probably some pencils or inks. It was like a hip pouch,
Okay.
possibly 10 gold.
So you could throw it 20 feet, and it will land midway to the second ring.
Okay.
You could do 60 feet from where that is. Yeah, you could probably get it into the second ring if you took a disadvantage on your throw.
All
But it's
right.
up to you.
I'll take a disadvantage.
Okay. So this would be a strength modifier on your throw.
12 was the lower one, 17 was the higher.
We'll say that you're capable of throwing this minuscule insect, and we'll say that you get it out, and as soon as it hits the first wall, it's gone. You don't see it anymore.
Alright.
Okie doke. So, in that particular instance, when he sees that happen, the Black Hand is fucking enraged. He's very upset. He starts to grow in size. He gets a little bigger, and then all of a sudden, you see
I think I
part-
pissed him off.
you see part of his head split. He has a second head that comes out of the side of his neck, an arm that comes out through the center of his chest, and then another arm, and then a leg that comes out, and he starts to thrash about and wave his arms in different directions, and then another head comes out through his chest. He's starting to fracture in time, He no longer has his tether, and he is starting to rip apart into different pieces, and you can start to feel a wave of energy. Roll a wisdom roll, both of you, to check.
Oh no.
12?
4?
Nope.
All right.
Okay. You got a 12, D-Walk. You
Yeah.
feel something bad's happening. Rachel, everything seems fine.
Yeah.
This is totally normal. People do
This
this
is
all the
actually
I
pretty
shout
cool.
at her mentally.
I kind of want to see
Run!
where this is going.
time. Okay.
I mentally just shout at her, run!
Where are you running?
Well, everything I've seen go through the other way either's gone, dead, or disappears, and I don't like it. So, back the way we came.
Think temporally, David.
Well, I know the other ones are slower, and us going faster means... And there's not another room beyond this.
Like, interiorly, no. This is
No.
the center.
Because the way we went in, we would have gradually sped up as we went in. Exiting, we would have... If we exit down the straight hallway, it's going to go slow as hell.
Right, but if you're moving faster and things outside the circle are moving slower, then let's say a person was pushed out. They'd now
Right.
exist in a time frame moving slower than you. So they would pop out of there and they'd go to find you, right? They'd go down a hallway or something. They'd be out of view for a really long time as they ran back through the maze trying to get back to you. While everything here is moving super quick. So like imagine when you threw your torch, right? You
Right.
threw your torch at the beginning.
And it
as soon
aged.
as your guy got through there, the duration on the spell was over.
Right.
He could no longer maintain any control of it. The torch fell.
Then we got to run down that way. And hopefully whatever explosion we outlive because it goes off not in our lifetime.
Well, there is no explosion anymore because the insect is not going to puncture the crystal. So you guys can, if
I can't grab her. But fuck it. I'll get her. We got to run this straight for the door.
All right.
Rachel,
Yes.
he's going to get an instant initiative as he is now removed from time.
Okay.
David, you're going to get to go, and Rachel, he's going to make multiple grab attempts at you with his multiple arms.
Oh no.
2 doesn't get it. 13. So 15.
No. Barely. I barely get away from that.
This is insane. Okay, he's got 1 grab attempt on you out of 6 attempts.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My AC
This one-
is 16.
This one, it's a 19 plus 2. So you tell me how you're going to react to this grab.
Okay.
Depending on how you react to it will dictate what happens next.
Okay. I basically just want to try to like dive forward and roll.
Actually, roll me a wisdom check beforehand because this is all sort of happening quickly.
Okay. 16.
Rachel, you get a vision of which hand is going to grab you, and you can make an effort to not let it grab you. So we're going to roll off, let's just say D10s.
Okay.
Or we'll say D20s with dexterity, okay?
Okay.
All right, you roll it and I'll roll it.
Okay. So not an acrobatics check.
Nope.
Just a D20 with my
Dex.
dexterity. Okay.
What'd you get?
15.
You got, well, it was a 10. It was a 10.
Okay.
All right, so you have seen his grasp and know that it's coming and are capable of getting out of the way.
Okay.
So now it is your initiative. Do as you will.
Okay. Has Thresh already run?
Yep, at the end of his last turn, he ran through the hallway.
Okay. Then I'm gonna double move my 40 feet movement speed, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go that way.
You're going to make it through the first and then right into the brink of the second.
Okay.
D-Walk will be in the first for his run. So you'll actually see him as you continue to run. Also, a perception check on both of you.
20.
14.
All right, Rachel, as you're running down the hallway in the second frame,
Mhm.
the second ring, you'll be able to see the insect in the pouch with your perception, and you can grab it and continue running.
Okay, I would like to grab it and continue running.
Okay. All right. You are now at the front door. That's closed in front of you. But Pigshank is there, and he's trying to wedge at the door to get it open. And you can hear bells chiming nonstop.
Oh god. How is he trying to open the door? Does he have a crowbar?
He has the spear that he had. He's trying to wedge it.
Okay. I have a Dungeoneer's pack which contains a crowbar. So I'm gonna
Okay.
get there and I'm gonna pull out my crowbar and I'm trying to like
Roll some strength checks for me. You want to roll 3 of those?
oh, I'm not good at strength. 16,
Pretty good.
nat 20,
Hey,
Ooh.
and another nat 20.
fuck.
God damn, Rachel indoors.
I
Right
have
on.
a 0 modifier to my strength.
Well, while you attempt the first one, you and him both trying to lift it, it's not moving, and you can see from all sides, from around the ring, multiple versions of that entity are flickering, and their hand, the right hand of it, is out, and they're marching to you slowly. D-Walk
Yes.
is now your action. You can
Full
continue-
running. Yes.
Full running. You get up there, and you can help roll a strength check. You can roll 2 strength checks if you want.
All right.
That's the amount of turns until those things get you. They're coming for you.
9. 15.
Okay. On the second series of checks, you are able to break the seal on the thing, and you are able to push it. Rachel's nat 20 is pretty solid. Pigshank is a fucking freak, so once the door gets a little bit open, he kind of wedges himself between it and is using his feet to push out on the door. And you guys are able to get outside of the doorway,
All right.
and it slams closed behind you. Ooh.
Damn.
That was insane.
I didn't get to flip him off before we left.
Oh, you want to go back?
Oh, hell no.
He's gonna flip you off with his 6 arms.
Did you see his face after I threw that bug?
Yeah. You mean this bug? I'm gonna hold it.
Ah! I jump back. Fuck that bug.
Okay, but we could study this.
If you
Ooh.
wanted to, Pigshank knows about this type of bug.
Oh.
They're very common in certain regions. His brother has a collection of them. They can eat through any particular matter or material. They're
Huh.
used a lot to break down things for alchemical reasons.
I pulled my flask.
The
Offered
problem
Pigshank.
the problem with these particular bugs though is that they're very dangerous, right? So like that crystal is very, very hard to damage.
Mhm.
This bug might have been the only way for them to pierce it.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay, so what's the plan now? What are you guys doing now?
I look at Pigshank. Offer my wine. Sorry about Frank.
He'll be fine. He's fine.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You know his page got burnt up, right?
NPC, no page.
Ah. Okay. I pat him on the shoulder. Land sharks. You know a way to get past them?
Oh god, I forgot about the land sharks.
He doesn't know how to get past him. There's sharks.
Are there still? So
Wait,
it has
where's
to still
Devin?
be- Where's Devin?
Did his dumbass run this
Or
way?
Derek.
Derek.
Yeah.
Devin is molten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devin.
Where's Derek? Did his dumbass run this way?
I didn't see him.
Sucks to be him.
Maybe he circled around.
That dude is pissed.
R.I.P. Derek.
But think about all the hours he'll rack up in there. He'll be done with his internship in no time. Well, in a lot of time, but
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he survives.
oh, FYI, you guys did 98 damage to that guy. He's still
Hey,
standing.
that's Terrifying.
Yeah, we're not opening that door again.
No.
You guys roll me a perception check.
Oh god.
Ooh,
21.
16.
21.
Mhm.
Rachel, the sand starts to blow really hard.
Like the storm?
The storm, yeah, outside. The sand is blowing around really aggressively.
Is like all over?
Mhm.
Okay. Can I see any sand shark fins?
No, they don't seem to be here. There might have been because they had eaten all of the people that they had found and had moved on.
That's true.
Maybe they're still there and just waiting.
Okay. I'm gonna point out the storm stuff to.
It starts to become blinding, like almost like you can't see an inch in front of your face.
Pull my desert gear on tighter. Let's go.
You hear some voices from behind you. All right,
Look behind.
it's your interns.
All of them?
If we travel this way, we could be at the really worst of the storm.
I stop and look at her. Do you still have the bug?
There's still the bug.
I check her for the bug.
There's no bug.
We should.
One of the interns comes up and he goes, "Look, storm's gonna get really bad, and you can
I
get up
slap
on
him.
us in a few."
Fuck it, we're not going this way. We're
He's
going
like,
that
"Look,
way, the opposite
This is
way.
gonna save us loads of time.
No.
We're already a days out from the road."
Fuck this shit. Where's Pigshake?
It's not here.
Back to the
I'll go
road.
Yeah, the road.
We're going back to the road.
We're not going through that again.
Let's say you travel for 2-3 days. There is no road. It's just sand.
Okay.
But eventually you do come across some rocky outcroppings. It looks like it
No.
used to be a large boulder and was exploded into little bits. There's a shadowy spot in between, and one of your interns comes up and hands you a spyglass. And
Absolutely
you can look through it.
Pick
think it's
something
fine.
else.
Okay. So do you pick another direction?
Yes.
One of your interns just disappears, goes under the ground.
Is there any like rocky?
Okay, which of you guys are Darwin and which one is Devin?
At this point, if this were an episode of a TV show, the camera would pan out, pan out, and there would be an hourglass filled with sand,
Mhm.
just kind of stirring in the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and it's sitting on an end table with the black hand reading and doing research in the background. You guys are on his end table.
And then the Twilight
You're being
Zone
punished.
plays.
Welcome to a world of sight and sound. No Zoram Zolan says, "Fuck you and your family. You have been removed from time and placed at the crossroads of eternity."
Once again, we want to thank you guys for listening to Freelance Heroism. We hope you're having just as much fun listening as we are playing. Visit us at facebook.com/freelanceheroism and leave us a like. If you want to see our adventures in comic form, the professional illustrates our misadventures and more at 1d4rounds.com. And if you want to support us, consider donating. We're at patreon.com/freelance_heroism. Keep an eye out for rewards as we add them.
Our cast includes Rachel Moore as Calligraphy, monk researcher of the Primus Literis Library. David Walker as Threshold, warlock to the Great Old One. And Dees Cassius, that's me, as everybody else. Send an email to freelanceheroismpodcast@gmail.com, and don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week. In the meantime, the invoice is in the mail. By the way, remember earlier in the game when you were talking about, oh, you guys just play by yourself? These are all characters that I've had drawn and illustrated hundreds of times.
I know that now.
See, if Rachel were a better friend, she would have gotten excited when she met Frank.
I knew who he was. I was excited.
I got excited.
I know you did, David, and that's why we're friends. Rachel is stuck in Switch World right now. She doesn't care. Took her how many hours? 8 hours from when you got your Switch to add me as a friend?
Because I
Fucking
had to go
cold
to
as
work.
ice.
I had to go to work. I left work to get my Switch, and then I brought it to work with me.
Did she even add me as a friend?
No.
I
That's
Mo
that's
said she
that's
was-
the tier of friendship we're
Mo
talking
said
about.
she was going to add me, and she hasn't added me yet.